You know, sometimes the best way of getting footage with an action camera is not a chestie, but actually a head mount. So I'm going to show you how to do that in this video. I'm going to show you some, not really how to use the head mount, but some issues to fix, known problems with a head mount, and also the safety feature, so in case you drop the head mount in water, you'll be able to retrieve it. Stay tuned. Okay, so what we have here is a head mount. And so these head mounts, you can get them very affordably. Temu, Amazon, any place like that. This actually came from my Vivitar video. I bought a Vivitar camera for a B-roll camera, and so that is where this came from. Has some little silicone little whoopsie-doos right there to keep it stuck to your head very well. There is a problem with these cheap GoPro accessories, and that is, it's hard to see, but these little clips here, I'll try to put it right here where you can see it better. These little clips here, they're not the best in the world, and this material is stretchy. And if you see me messing with stuff, I got a piece of white paper on here so you can see it better for the video. But it's meant to slide in real easily during manufacturing, and then you just slide that on and you're good, so that they could probably sew it up and then put this on later. The problem is this stretchy material, it stretches out real fast, and after a while this will come undone, and I don't want that to happen. There's basically three sides here. I'm going to have to fix this. I'm going to show you the first way of doing that. So the first modification you need to make to this is to get some sewing thread. Now I like to use quilting thread. I'm using black. This right here is just a good thick thread. It is almost as thick as braided line. So I mean, you could literally fish with this, definitely panfish, something like that, and catch fish on it. It's got a high strength to it, and it will do well for this. I'm going to thread the needle, and we're going to sew this into place. You just want to run out about, I don't know, a yard. If you've ever seen my videos, you've seen on my keychain that I always keep some sewing scissors or craft scissors, and they fold up, and I use them all the time for everything. So in all my modifications and stuff that I do, I use these scissors. I use a large-eyed needle. My eyes aren't the best in the world, and frankly, with this thick of a thread, you need a larger eye. And it's not really going to impact anything. What I do is, after I put thread through the eye, I run the two end pieces together and do a double knot, and that would just secure it. Now, on the inside of this, I'll turn this around inside out so it's easier for me to deal with. Now, you kind of want to tug with one hand and sew with the other. So I'm just running it through both pieces and just come back through. Alright, now what we're going to do is try to sew along this line and just, all I'm doing is doing a loop coming back and going around where I started. So I'm going to come back here, and it don't have to be perfect. I'm a little bit persnickety, more so than what you got to be. And it don't have to hit the same hole, whatever. It's just a way to make sure that you're getting everything like it ought to be. The ends are more important to worry about than the middle. You might think the middle is more important, but it's actually the ends. Kind of, that's what takes the brunt of a lot of this, is ends. I've actually quit pulling on it by now. You can see where it's going through. Not the best stitch in the world, but it works. Alright, then once you get to here, what you do, just kind of do a little bit of a skin knot right here, where you kind of go under a few of the threads, and then you come around. And then I just do pull through. And go 1 and 2 times around the loop that you made, and then pull tight. That should hold pretty good. Now we'll cut this, do the other 3 sides. I'm not saying that my sewing is elegant. I am saying it is effective. Now there's a bunch of people that they'd say, oh, sewing is not a man's thing, that's woman's work. Well, you know what? I don't know that many people sew anymore. So knowing how to sew a few things is actually good. I don't care if you're a man, woman, whoever you are, you need to know how to make a few little tricks to sew, hem, whatever. You think about my buddy Ricky Wallace. He does a saddle stitch. He makes sheaths for knives, and he does knives. So he does all the sewing by hand. You know, you learn something like this, you never know when you'll use it. For instance, I used to be involved in politics a lot. Have a button fall off, you need to replace it, you're meeting a senator or governor or presidential candidate, you better know how to sew one on, because that meeting is going to take place and you want to look your best. You're out in the woods, if you have a little sewing kit, you get cut, can't get to the hospital, you can take a fish hook and some thread and suture yourself back together. It'll be painful, but you could do it. So learning this is a good thing. And by sewing this extra line in here, this will actually make this stronger. Now we're going to go to the next step of the process, which is going to be a safety protocol that I saw first with God's Country Outdoors. He's a YouTuber from Louisiana, and I saw him wearing it. I was like, I know it looks funny, but that is so brilliant, I've got to copy it. So this is going to look dorky, but I rather, when you think about a GoPro and how expensive these things are, I mean, I may dog cuss mine for acting up sometimes, but I definitely don't want to have to fork over another $300 or $400 for a replacement camera if I can recover it. So this is just a safety feature. Make sure that you can recover it if you lose it in the water. Okay, so I picked up this little trick from God's Country Outdoors. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking a piece of elastic thread that I have. If it'd be better if I had like bank line or something other, but I've got elastic thread, so that's what I'm using, or elastic cord. And I'm just feeding it through. If I need to, I can always use a snake. If you never use a snake, it's just a piece of thread to help you get everything, you know, secure. So what I'm doing now is just basically tying an overhand knot like that. Nothing special. Trim the end. Just because I do not want the knot to ever come undone, I'm going to take and run thread through these two sides here. I'm just kind of sewing the knot into place is all I'm doing. So just kind of go on the two sides here, these two ends. So on that, you don't have to do this, but I'd hate for the knot to come undone, me be able to do it when I had thread here at the house, because when you're out in the field, resources are not as abundant, and that's when everything goes south. So if I can minimize problems, I like to minimize my problems. Okay, so those two ends are pretty tight. The next thing I like to do is where this knot is, just kind of tie through it or sew through the two threads. If you hear my dog, it's because delivery truck came by and dropping off a package. So basically all I'm doing is just trying to sew all this cordage together so that it's less likely to come undone. I'm not saying it won't, I'm saying it's less likely. Nothing big. Got these two ends here I want to secure together so that I don't have any issues there. And then I'll wrap this a couple of times and tie it up, and we're good to go on this part. Alright, so this right here is nothing more than one of those Velcro straps that you get when you get the cheap little GoPro knockoffs. You can also buy these straps pretty much anywhere. And what you do is just run it around. The Velcro will hold this into place. It's sewn together so that knot won't come undone. And then what we do is just place this right at the top part. I know, like I said, I know this is going to look funky, but saves money. Gotta do it the right way, Ken. Gotta do it this way and I'll spin it around. I'm all fingers today, folks. It's weekend, people are over. Probably hear them in the background. It's just been crazy. But this right here, when this goes on your hat, right here, this is at the front, so this go over your head. And then this right here is free floating. If this falls off, the cork will come up, you'll see it, and then you got something to grab onto and pull up your GoPro camera. It's just a way of saving your camera in case, so that you don't lose it. Please give this video a like, comment down below what you think, and if you haven't already, subscribe for more content. But if you're a content creator, try this little trick. I think you'll like it. And definitely make sure, if you're using the cheap stuff from China, that if they have this special connection, it's only this one connection in the back on this. Chest harnesses, they will have this. So anywhere that you have these little fasteners, don't matter if it's a chestie or a head strap, use this little sewn trick. But with that, I'll see you again next time, guys. Bye.